Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
Welcome, everybody. You've made it to the Bigger Vision podcast. I'm your host, Chris Garrison, and I'm at home today. And I'm doing this podcast from home. I'm actually in my daughter's bedroom, and I've got the flu. That's why I'm here at the house. I grabbed my gear because out of this year, have only missed one episode, and that disappoints me. I'm not proud to say that, and I did not want to miss another episode. So since I wasn't prepared and a week ahead, here I am with the flu, head throbbing. I've got some medication in me right now, so I'm going to push through this podcast so that you guys will have something to listen to. You can actually hear my daughter in the background over there, so let's get into it. Today, I was going to talk about who you are, because I feel like a lot of times we get lost and feel like we have to put up a facade in front of people because we are trying to fake it till we make it. We don't like people to truly see our insecurities or our faults, our lacks, where we lack things. And so we try to put a front so that people will believe and trust in us more than what we believe or trust in ourselves. And what I have found is people will actually appreciate transparency more than the fake. And people can read through that. So one thing I've learned in my disaster cleanup company is the more transparent through documentation, the more trusting and the more free giving the insurance agents, adjusters are, the insurance companies are in their paying process. So what I mean by is when we walk into a loss, whether it's a water, fire, mold, whatever the case is, if we take video footage and give some commentary behind it as we're moving through a house, and then we have tons of photos that are overlapping that tell a story, and then we also take photos while we are wearing our personal protective equipment, while we're doing the process from before we even get started to as we're doing it, to what it looks like when we're finished, to how many pieces of equipment that are left on site. If we can document and be very transparent about the process, it removes all question marks. And therefore, it removes all fear that they are being taken, as the best way I know how to put it, to the cleaners. So there is an instant amount of trust that's given. Well, why don't we do this in real life as well? I was just on an interview with a guy that also had a disaster cleanup company, and he had a medical alert company before that. He's done very well in life. Now he's a private lender. And he was talking about how he knew he wasn't the smartest person. He got into the disaster cleanup company without having any background in construction. And they actually did reconstruction. And the construction industry is very much a very man-dominant industry. A lot of ego goes on. But he said he knew that he would walk up, and he knew the industry was that way, but he would also bring to the table that he didn't know what he needed to know. And he said, "Would you mind telling me?" He came very in a humble state, and it immediately put at ease, and it also put those people in position to where they wanted to help him, because he had already admitted his lack in understanding and education on it. And I feel like if we approach life that way, if we'll move through life and admit when we don't know something and ask for help, then we are going to get much further in life than when we try to do it on our own. If there's one thing that I've learned, is that it does take a tribe to raise a child, and it does take a team to go far in a business. Without the team, you can't scale. And you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to lean on other people's intelligence, experience, because it will take way too long for you to try to master many things. So why not you go ahead and go after what you already have some strengths on? So this brings me to a point because we're at the end of the year and it's time where people start setting up their goals for the year to come. And I want you to focus on what your strengths are. I want you to look at what you're already good at instead of trying to get good at what you're not good at. Now, I know this seems kind of backwards because we've been taught let's perfect what we're bad at so that we're great at everything. But that's a wrong way around it because that is a team of I, and there's no I in team when you spell out the word team. And there's a reason in that because it takes others. And if you're trying to go at it on your own, you're going to get beat every single day by the person that's willing to lean on others and share with others and not be greedy and have to have all of the pie. So decide what is your strengths. There's something that someone and multiple people have pointed out that you're good at. Listen and relay, review back in your time of living and see where people have complimented you and where you have been told you're good at this, you're good at that. Find what brings you enjoyment. When you're in your daily routine of doing work or doing your task, what do you enjoy doing? That's a great way to identify what you're probably good at. And then start perfecting that thing. Start mastering that. And that is what you bring to the table. And now you collaborate with other individuals that have opposite strengths. This is how a great company is born. This is how a great team works together. It's not a bunch of people with the same kind of skill set. It's a bunch of individuals with different skill sets that come together to collaborate to build something magnificent. Life is never going to be perfect, but you can bring the perfection by gathering other individuals and other points of view. And not only do you see this, I was actually watching Machines That Made America. It's on the History Channel through Amazon, and there's also The Men That Made America. Great documentaries. And what I realized is the airplanes, the tractors that took away, the long intensive labor in farming. All of these machines were brought together because of collaboration. One person would find this, would invent this portion, then the next person would build on top of that. And they were in constant competition. But finally, you would have one or two guys at the end that made it out with all of the pieces together. And that's what it was about. It took everybody. It wasn't one person that perfected the entire thing. It was one person that brought an idea that sparked another idea, that sparked another idea in someone else. And this is what happens in collaboration. This is why I go to masterminds, because I get to hear someone's idea that sparks something else inside of me. And then it allows me to move forward in life and for me to gain access closer to my goals and dreams in life. And it also sparks new goals and dreams for me. So let's be thoughtful about what our strengths are. Let's stop trying to fake it till we make it. Although I do believe that that's got its place in time, but don't let it consume your life. There's plenty of times where I walk in and I don't know all the answers, but I've got a level of confidence with me because I do understand that I am resourceful enough to go find those answers. Now, that is what I say, fake it till you make it, because you're not having to fake it. You don't know it right then, but you also know how to go gather the answers. With today's technology, you can go find it anywhere through YouTube, Google, any of the search engines, social media, and the forums that they have posted on there. Also, I make sure that I expand my network, that I go and I meet individuals so that I log and I have people that I can call on when I need an answer to something particular. So that isn't really faking it till you make it. But at the same time, I would say that would fall underneath it, because when I walk into a situation, I'm confident that I can handle it, whether I've done it or not before, because I know that I've got the resources. But also, I try to stay in my lane. I know where I'm weak at, and I know where I'm strong. So find out where you're strong at, and let's move forward in next year, perfecting and mastering your strengths and finding the individuals that can gather up your weaknesses and strengthen those. And then collaborate with those individuals, and let's build something of massive success. Until next time, let's live in success and let's grow together.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.